What's going on, people? It's True Boxing. Just got back from the mall. Hit 12 Oaks up. For those that know, I'm in Michigan. Just left Novi, headed back east on 96. And I want to talk boxing, just a couple things that been on my mind about the Adrian Broner fight. Merry Christmas, everybody, if I don't get a chance to say it. My subscribers, people that don't subscribe, people that hate me, people that talk shit to my channel. Set that aside. Hope you guys have a good Christmas, and remember that Christmas is all about giving and not receiving, unless it's sex. but just, just enjoy your family and enjoy your family and just be glad that you're alive and that you're still above ground. Be thankful for those things. My credit card is going to look like, I don't even want to look at it next month. I honestly don't. I've been trying to not go crazy, but I mean, it's just what it is. Let's jump into this boxing. Let's talk about Adrian Broner. A lot of I see the YouTube community is thinking he's done, he's finished, he'll never be the same. His career is over. He's another Andre Berto. And let me just jump and give my opinion now. Do I believe he's another Andre Berto? Absolutely not. I believe Adrian Broner has a better skill set than Andre Berto. He's a better skill set fighter. Berto may have more experience, but I feel just how he fights. He's a very seasoned fighter. He's getting a lot of slack, and I think a lot of the community is just not realizing. And I realized this when I rewatched the All Access, and he did an interview in 2003, that Broner is only 24 years old. This dude is a kid. Like, a lot of his antics, you got to realize he's a kid. And that's not excusing it, but it kind of makes sense the way he acts. He's a child still. Not a child, but he's a young man. He's only 24, just turned 24. Kid from the hood, ain't never had shit, gets money. So now he's like doing crazy shit, going partying, going to clubs, doing stuff that a typical 24-year-old would do. He's a kid. I watched that All Access, and he gave an interview in 2003. And in 2003, I was 18 years old in my last year of high school. This guy if you look at the interview, he looks like a little bitty ass kid. He's small, he's like 13. He's a kid. An exceptionally talented kid. Regardless of anybody, I see people downplaying his talent. Oh, he doesn't have good defense. Now, his defense isn't A1 like Floyd's. Not many fighters are. But he has a very good, solid defense. He needs to tighten up a couple things. But he's a solid fighter. He's a very seasoned fighter. And a lot of people are not giving the guy his credit. And I've been very critical of Broner throughout his career. Basically, all the fighters that are new age fighters who are getting all this recognition and praise when their opposition and the opposition they're facing does not equate or not equal their praise, with the exception of Danny Garcia, because I've always been a Danny Garcia fan since day one. But let's get back to Broner. And so he's getting all this hatred, and one thing I have to say, he's a very talented fighter. You don't get where he is at 24 without having some type of talent. I would challenge all the people who call themselves boxing fans. Go, because I'm pretty sure most cities have fights in their cities. 4-rounders, 6-rounders. Go watch the 24-year-old fighters and the 23-year-old fighters, and hell, 26 and 27-year-old fighters. And you will get a better appreciation for Broner as a fighter. He's very skilled and very talented for his age. But like anybody, you should know, hard work beats talent any day. Not to say that Broner doesn't work hard, I believe he does, but hard work and will can beat talent. And I believe Broner is too small for the 147-pound division. And I kind of felt some kind of way about it, when he weighed in at 144, I believe, and he told Richard Schaefer, I can still make lightweight. That wasn't settling to me before the Maidana fight. Still thought he was going to pull it off, but that was kind of like, wait a minute, that's kind of small. And I just feel like he wants a rematch, and I think that he shouldn't take a rematch right now. I believe. Oh, let me get back to why he's not, I'm scatterbraining, why his career is going to be different from Andre Berto. First of all, Adrian Broner, whether you love him, hate him, or indifferent, he's marketable. He has a personality, love him or hate him. He has a fan base, love him or hate him. They want to see him win, want to see him lose, or whatever. And so he's much more marketable than Berto, because Berto is not a personality. He has no personality. I believe he should do what Floyd says, which is fight on his undercard. That's, love him or hate him, that's more exposure. That's one. Fight at 140. Put him in there with some tough opposition, not necessarily a top 5 or something, maybe top 10. Get his feet wet. Put him in there with a stiff, not going to say stiff, but some good competition so we can rebuild his confidence. Because I don't believe the ass whooping hurt him more than him believing in his skill and finding out that it wasn't enough. So put him in there with some good competition so we can rebuild him and start the road from there. And like I said, it's a win-win. You're on pay-per-view, you get your feet wet, get back in the game, and start to rebuild. I believe he needs a couple more fights from Maidana. The reality is now, looking at things in hindsight, Maidana is 30 years old, a solid fighter in his prime. Broner is maybe entering his prime, but it's a 6-year experience difference. And for all you guys that don't know, there's a big difference between the amateur game and the pro. You can be a very skilled amateur and lose to an okay-ass professional fighter. It's totally different. Weight matters, and I believe Broner thought his skill set would transcend the weight difference. 4 or 5 pounds, it can matter in a fight. And so I think he realized that, now. I believe, like I said, he's a young fighter. There's some things he needs to work on. His mobility. I don't believe that he's set in his ways. He's only 24, but he needs to work on his mobility. Stop standing in the pocket so much. Pick and choose when you want to. Pick and choose when you're going to stand your ground and when you're going to get on your bike and move those legs. That's what people don't realize about Floyd. I'm hearing, to me, in my opinion, out of the fighters that currently use the shoulder roll, Floyd does it the best, and that includes James Toney. The only thing I thought I liked about James Toney was he rolled a little bit better with shots than Floyd, but he took more damage doing it. And he had a better counter right hand out of the Philly shell. His counter right hand was just smooth. How he just bam threw it and got back in the shell. A little bit more fluid than Floyd's. But overall, defensively, Floyd is a much better defensively sound fighter than James Toney. The shoulder roll, that's kind of prevalent in the Midwest. I see a lot of fighters do it. My friend, I'm gonna put a video up of him soon. His ass is back in the gym. I don't know what the hell's going on with him. He's fucking with these bitches, but he uses it too. But I believe some things can change. Does he need a better trainer? Who knows? I felt like I'm not gonna take anything away from Maidana because Maidana did what he had to do and he did what was presented to him. But I believe that Maidana wouldn't have landed as much if Broner had to pick and chose his spots. He kind of made himself a target. He gave him, to me, this fight reminds me so much, and I'm not saying neither one of these guys are these great fighters, but this fight reminds me so much of a Duran and Leonard. How the young Leonard thought, hey, I'm believing his shit don't stink and believing so much about his height, and he got shut down by Duran. I'm not saying neither one of these guys are those guys. I'm just saying it reminds me of those things. This fight does not remind me. I had somebody tell me this reminds them of Kawasaki, Jeff Lacey. No, Jeff Lacey took a beating, much worse. It wasn't even close. He didn't win any rounds with Kawasaki. Broner did win some rounds this fight. I gave him most of the middle rounds. I want to say like 3 or 4 of the middle rounds. I did notice that when he did hit Maidana, that he hurt Maidana. Not saying he hurt Maidana like Maidana was hurting his ass, but it was shots where I seen Maidana go from brawling to, okay, I need to box. Because he caught him with some good body shots and that uppercut. He was hitting him with some good shot and the left hook. When he was teeing off, when he was shooting the right hand and following with a left hook. He was catching Maidana with some good shots. So all in all, I don't believe Broner's career is over. I believe at this point he has to do some soul searching, and he ultimately has to decide, where does he go from here? He is the one who has to decide, do I continue the way I am, or do I try to change some things? Because he's not an old dog. And I believe that he can get back on track. So that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? I feel like a lot of people writing about. Oh yeah, another thing I want to touch on before I get out of here. The fans, and I'm not upset about the fans doing the memes, because this is social media and shit. Anything that happens can be one click away from being viral. I mean, this shit spread. Anything you do wrong can be spread like chlamydia. I was telling somebody, remember the days where you couldn't even watch a fucking Real Player video. Remember those? Who remember Real Player back in high school? You couldn't even watch a fucking Real Player video pixelated like a motherfucker without it buffering every goddamn 3 seconds. You know, it's just amazing how we are in the digital age where I can shoot a video, bam, it's up in 3 seconds and it can be seen by the world in less than 5. So I'm not upset with the meme because he's going to get that. Nobody's exempt from that. Pacquiao, nobody. Miguel, when he leg dropped that bitch at the awards, anybody's going to get made fun of. But what I had an issue with, and I'm not an issue with necessarily with the fans throwing a beer, no issue with that. You know, it's going to happen. Popcorn, throwing in plastic cups, no issue. But my issue was, I felt it was very disrespectful as a man. You people who did this, you are lower than dirt to me, who were spitting on this man. That is very disrespectful. As a man, I would rather you hit me in the fucking face. Just walk up to me and just hit me in the fucking face than to spit on me. That is the lowest thing you can do to any human being on the face of the earth. And if they were doing that, the fans, shame on you. That is disgusting. I would have been okay with you throwing cups. Fuck you, brother. You got your ass beat. You got dropped twice. Ha ha. Fuck you, bitch. You ain't. I'm good with that. Throw your pop on them. Throw your drink on them. Okay. Hey. But when you spit, I draw the line there. That's disgusting. That is the worst thing you could do. That is so unhumane. And I feel like any fan who partake or agrees with that, you are a horrible person. But I'm at my house now. Rate, comment, subscribe. Like I said, enjoy the holidays. What do you guys think? Let's just chalk it up. I think he can come back, and I think he's going to learn from this. Me personally, I don't think this is going to beat him. I think this is going to make him a better fighter. Anyway, rate, comment, subscribe. True Boxing.